Hey there folks and welcome to this video. Formula E is about to get underway with the Sao Paulo E-Prix. So in this video I'm going to sit down and I'm going to make my 26 predictions for 2026. And I'll start off with the different sections because these 26 predictions will be in 4 different sections. Last year's one to 2025 I did 5 different sections, so here's how it's going to work. I'm going to make some broad predictions for my first 6. Then after that, 7 through 12 are going to be some championship predictions, some specific, some a bit more generic. Then I'm going to have my changes for 13 through 18. Those could be drivers and events. And then the final 8 are going to just be chaos, complete wildcard. Some bits could potentially end up closer to another category. Some bits probably won't. So let's get on with it. Starting off, I reckon there will be at least 22 drivers on the grid this season. I think there were more than that last season, but that was because there was a clash between World Endurance Championship in Interlagos and the Berlin E-Prix. I don't think there are any clashes like that this year. I think the Spa 24, Le Mans 24 and NERB 24 have moved away from being back-to-back weekends. And I think at the same time, the World Endurance Championship commitments aren't going to be clashing either, which is quite nice. I think there'll be at least one first-time podium finisher. There are a lot of drivers who haven't finished on the podium yet in Formula E, and for the final year of Gen 3 and Gen 3 Evo, I reckon somebody new will end up on there. It could be one of the rookies. I reckon there'll be at least 7 race winners. I think there were 8 last year. But that was a bit wild, especially given how many of them were like the tail end or outside of the top 10 in points. Like Stoffel van Dorn, for example, had 62 points last year, and of them 25 were from winning. I think at least 2 drivers will be back-to-back winners. I think it was only Nick Cassidy last year who was. I think Roland had some where he was on, off, on, off, on. I think it was early Cassidy and he went back-to-back. And from there, I think at least 2 teams will be back-to-back winners. Which means, say, Roland and Nato. Or is it Muller with Wehrlein this season? Or Avdak and Evans, Vern and Cassidy. And sticking with Citroen, I'm going to include them as Monegasque because they're the old Venturi team in the at least 2 teams will win home rounds category. Last year, I think it was only Jag. Last year's prediction I had less than 2 or 2 or less. So I reckon we could see a Porsche win in Berlin, a Jag win in London, a Citroen win in Monaco. Of course, got Miami, we've got a bunch of American teams. I think the only team that technically can't have a home win this season is Mahindra because they're registered as Indian. Next up, my championship predictions. I reckon Citroen will outscore what Maserati got last year, which was 102 points. I reckon that DS Penske will still beat Citroen, however. I also believe there'll be a new world champion. There have been quite a few people who surprisingly aren't champions. I mean, I think of Evans and Cassidy as 2 of them. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's one of them. I reckon at least 2 current world champions will be beaten by their teammates in the final standings. And I also reckon the winning driver won't be for the winning team, and the winning manufacturer will not contain the winning team. So for instance, it could be that Nick Cassidy becomes the champion. And then it could be that Jaguar are the championship winning team. And Porsche are the championship winning manufacturer. If I get all 3 of them right, I think I deserve all of the bonus points, or just the 26 out of 26 right there and then. But let's go for that. In terms of changes that will come in with Gen 4, I think at least one race will change venues within the country. I know it's been rumoured for a while that the likes of Silverstone might replace the XL circuit. That could still happen. I reckon at least one race will drop off of the calendar. If I had to wager, Spain gets replaced by France or Italy. I reckon at least one race will return to the calendar. Maybe we go back to Rome. I reckon at least one world champion will announce their retirement. We have quite a lot of them on the grid. I reckon at least one Porsche Junior driver will be over the age of 25. Ayhanka Guven has been largely linked with the role. He's currently 27. And I also reckon at least one F2 driver will make the switch to Formula E. They may be active in 2026, or they may even be somebody like Fornaroli, who has just won the F2 championship. And now for the wildcards. Let's try and get through them in a quick run, which means that me reacting to this is about to get very angry. I reckon that a Citroen and a DS will crash into each other at one point. I reckon a driver will be replaced mid-season. I reckon we will have 2 double headers that will have one wet and one dry race. I also think Monaco will have a red flag incident. We've got 2 Monaco E-Prix this year. I think at least 2 circuits will announce a change of configuration. I think only 1 race for next season will be in 2026. A bit like we've had the last couple of years with Sao Paulo. I think 1 race will have more than 6 retirements. And I also think, to round this all out, at least 1 race will be won by more than 10 seconds. And with that, my 2026 Formula E predictions are done. Last year, I got 19 out of 25, which was a far better haul than I got the year before, which I think was 13 out of 24. It's going to be a tough one to beat, isn't it? But let's see how well I do. Thanks so much for watching and joining, folks. And I'll see you again soon, yeah? Bye-bye for now.